half article is better than thousands of Buhari.
Buhari is doing the best in Nigeria.
Presidential election.
And you're watching Rootstv Nigeria. This is Mood of the Nation. We have been checking the polls of the electorate as we count out to the elections. We have talked to workers, we have talked to a group of youths, and now we are focusing on women. Which of these candidates deal with matters that concern women? Are women going to vote? What are the issues that they will have in mind when they go to cast their vote? And who would that be for? I have a group of amazing women, and let us talk to them right now to find out their concerns and what would motivate them to vote anyone, or if they will vote at all. My name is Gloria Oji Emodi. First of all, I want to introduce you to this amazingly beautiful woman, starting from Mariah. Mariah is one of my colleagues, and she deals with entertainment matters. Mariah, hi, darling.
Hello.
Okay, and I have right here, of course, Sarah. Sarah is a business administrator, a working woman. I mean, very hardworking. Hi, Sarah. And we have got Daniela, aka Fumi, or Fumi, aka Daniela. She is an impressive woman, an engineer. I mean, I can't get that fast. You don't meet a lot of female engineers, so for me, it's nice to have you here. And then we have a medical doctor in our midst. Tricia is a medical doctor. So I told you these women are professionals. And then we have Olua, Toby, and Nito. Also one of my colleagues, a journalist right here at Rootstv. Hello, ladies. So I'm going to ask you straight up. Are you voting? If you don't mind, Mariah, let me ask you, Sarah, are you voting?
Okay, no, I'm not voting.
Why?
Because I don't see any reason why I should vote for somebody that's not like going to help this country.
So of all of the candidates, you don't think any one of them?
No, none.
So what are those issues? What are those issues that you feel that are important that they haven't addressed?
Okay, the educational sector, the business sector, like the health sector, like the most important things like we need in this country, they are not focusing on it. You're just talking about nonsense. Like I can't even get what you're talking about. So I just feel they're not focusing on the important sectors that we as humans need to survive in Nigeria. Like food, we need food. Like they aren't say anything about food.
Security, I completely
security, like no. I don't see any reason why I should vote for.
And I think this is pretty interesting that you said that, because, we have talked over and over again about the complexity of the manifestos of these candidates. Plenty words, a lot of promises made at the rallies. But the question is, do people really understand and do people connect? Or is it just really about the candidates? You're either articulate or say baba or let's get Nigeria work again. But what does it really say? I am very interested in your opinion, Fumi, because you are an engineer, and it is, I would say, a sector a lot of women are not in. When you talk about the elections, are you going to vote? Does any of the candidates appeal to your sector and as the issues that concern you as a female?
Well, I can't really talk about my sector in particular, but I would like to vote. Unfortunately, I couldn't get my PVCs, as is the story of many other Nigerians. I would have loved to vote really, but I'm not going to be voting because presently I don't have my PVC.
But if you were to vote, which of these candidates has appealed to you as a woman, as a person?
If you say appeal, I would say Fela Duratoye. Unfortunately, if I want to be realistic, it's probably a candidate.
Yeah, well, we don't know where. What is it about Fela that appealed to you that you really wanted to vote for him?
Okay, before I used to know him as a motivational speaker. I mean, that's what I knew him as. And then recently on Instagram, I saw his CV. And it's delivery. He says he has worked with multinationals and state governments and delivered results. For example, he spoke about some banks that he helped, a particular bank that he helped from 1 billion naira of loss to 1 billion naira profit in less than 1 year. That's results, right? And I also saw some of his social works, community development, and painting how many houses with only volunteers. That takes a lot of grit.
Wow.
So to me, he has delivery. He has the guts. He has delivery.
May I ask you a question? Even though you're not going to vote, but you still have till Monday to get your PVC. You do know that, or maybe you have to travel.
Work issues.
Work issues. Okay, no problem. But you do know that Fela Duratoye is aligning with Kingsley Moghalu even as we speak, and Kingsley Moghalu is also from the finance sector, and he has helped a lot of banks and all of that. Do you think both of them align? And if Duratoye says all of my supporters vote Kingsley Moghalu, would you be open to that?
Actually, I did not know they were aligning at this point because I know when they first started the coalition, Mogalu was the first to leave.
Yeah.
So I was not aware of that. But if they are aligning, well, that would be really cool, really, because they are both professionals. They are both they are not politicians. Thank God for Trump's presidency. Yeah, they are both professionals. So that would be a really good one.
So for you, it's really about a professional, not just a politician. It's amazing how she says they're not politicians. So that's interesting. So people have an idea. Trish, you're a medical doctor, and the health sector is a huge issue in Nigeria. So I'm very particular about your perception and your opinion. First of all, are you going to vote?
I don't have my PVC, so I'm not voting.
But if you were to vote?
If I were to vote, I don't think I have any candidate I would be voting for, because I feel like Nigerian politics, they are more focused on things that don't really matter. If you go around, you hear people talking about article this, article that, like they're just focused on getting the vote, not really things they are going to do. Because I overheard people talking about okay, they are going to vote for Atiku because he's going to be a better president. I kind of feel like Atiku doesn't really need to be a president to like make an impact in Nigeria as a person, you understand? And I mean the health sector, it's not really looked upon, and the politicians, just like I said, they are just focused on getting votes. Like they are not actually focused on the things that matter, like the things that the common Nigerians they go through, and like that's just how it is. All
right, you're a medical doctor. Let's go into your line a little bit. Every day you go to work, you meet sick people, people who can't afford healthcare and all of that. What do you think the health sector needs? And I mean, we still are a few days to the elections. What can they pay attention to, or what would this politician say or do that would appeal to you, being from the health sector?
Okay, first, I feel like the politicians, like there are a lot of places, for example, my mom stay in Buhari to begin with. Like I've been to the general hospital there. I couldn't work there because they literally don't have most of the things I would like to work with. And even if you go, like the people working there, they are not satisfied with the way the place is. But then what else can they do? They just have to work. And then, I mean, you go to medical hospitals, you have a patient that needs like oxygen. They'll tell you, oh, we're out of oxygen. So what's that supposed to mean? This is a hospital, you understand? And every minute counts.
In the life of a patient. So
I just feel like they are really not focusing on things that matter. So I don't see anyone as a potential candidate for me.
Wow, that's very specific, because as a medical doctor, I can't even imagine what you go through every day trying to save lives and not being able to do that because there isn't equipment, you don't have the staffing, the manpower, and the resources. I mean, Enito, coming back to you again, as a person, as a woman, what are the things that you think should matter that either the candidates are paying attention to or not paying attention to as a woman?
Well, to start with, there is no enabling environment. We don't have that structure in terms of including everybody in the quality. I feel there is a disconnect of everyone, both the aspirants, the electorates, in fact, all the sectors are just in shanties. And I feel what all these our leaders are bringing to the table, because there is this recycle of leadership that doesn't even allow for growth and development in the society. We need young minds. We need people that when they talk, they don't just talk out of sentiments. They talk because it is the right thing to do. And I feel Nigeria, we haven't gotten that. We haven't gotten there. And I don't think we will get there, because every issue that relates to politics results in drama, unending drama, and then the innocent people who do not even have an idea of this, but they just want to connect with that, because I talked about the sectionalism, tribalism, which has really eaten deep into the yard and fabric of every Nigerian. An average Nigerian, when you ask him or her, where are you from? Like, you like, I'm from this local government. You are not even considering saying, I am Nigerian.
First of all.
So we need to kill the past. that has been like saddled with so many on very bad things before we think of focusing on the future and getting it right. Or else, without that, even those canvassing for votes, going here to campaign, I feel like this season is a time for the ignorant in mind to actually like make money. And they can make money through any means. If you ask them to go the violent way, they will. For someone who doesn't have a mobile phone, will see this period as a
time to enrich.
Or a television. If you don't have it, you will get it. So what are we saying?
And there's a lot of money flying around. Politicians are busy giving out a lot of money.
There is this poverty of the mind. It's not about being educated. I feel like even the educated amongst us are behave like illiterate, in quotes. I'm sorry, but I feel like we tend to be sentimental about almost everything, even if it's going to develop this nation. We see it from a very like pessimistic point of view.
I see. So, it's really painful, because I did hear one of the aspirants, while he was trying to criticize the other, say they have weaponized poverty. So because poverty is now a tool, people are more interested in what they can gain at the moment, saying, I know I won't see these people again for the next 4 years. Let me take what I have. So with that mentality, people are willing to take and, you know, give whatever is required of them. Mariah, I'm coming to you last, because you know, you are part of the, even though you're a journalist, you're part of the entertainment industry, and which is the third largest employer of labor apart from government in this country. Now, as part of that, as a journalist and as a woman, do you hear any of the candidates saying anything about it? Does anyone appeal to you in the creative industry, if I should use that word?
Okay, well, the other time we talked, I told you if I'll be given the opportunity to vote, that I will pick a candidate who was once a governor, which I think a lot of you know the candidates I'm referring to.
Unfortunately, I'm sorry. Unfortunately, as we already know right now, his party is saying that they're endorsing the president.
Yeah, it's quite unfortunate, seriously, because, but I heard him said again that
he's still running. It's very complicated.
So if I'm asked if I'm allowed to vote, I think I will still stand by that. I will still go for this particular man, because I've seen what he has done being a governor. Of course, who wouldn't know, who doesn't know what he introduced in Cross River State? You know, the
Tinapa?
biggest, the Tinapa and the biggest West African street party. You know, this actually brings the carnival. You know, it actually brings investors into the country. So I believe if this particular governor is, candidate is given the opportunity to run, he would do much more. He would do better. Just like she earlier said, we need young blood. We need people who have got passion to rule and indeed do everything appropriately, because most of these prominent politicians from the well-known political parties have been there before. We've seen what they can
Some will say it's about experience. I mean, that's why they're recycling them. They're more experienced. Nigeria is a very complex country.
Yes.
I get that. So you need someone who's been there before, either in the military or who has a bit of an idea on that. That's why they recycle them, if I should borrow the word from you. What do you say about that? It's experience, but you guys are calling for someone younger. Does that make sense to you? For those who say,
well, I said that because he's been there before.
Okay, so he has a bit of experience in controlling the state as well. Do you want to add anything at this moment in terms of where Nigeria could go to? February 16 is just like seconds away as it feels right now. Is there anything that we as women can do, or is there anything you want to say to women as they go to the polls or as they make their decisions to go to the polls? Anyone?
Okay, what I'll actually say is this. When we say day recycle, day is day, right?
I guess it's we.
We're the citizens. And when we talk about people being weaponized by poverty, it's what I want to see, Nigeria, where I would like to see us get to is where everybody's educated, not just schooled, but educated. Educated in such a way that they can make their own decisions. You know, it's not about 4 walls of the school anymore. Yeah, some people drop out. So it's about being educated, properly educated, and knowing how to choose for yourself. And I wish we have leaders that love us. It would go.
Oh my God, that I mean that I know. Do you know that was deep? I'm serious. Wow. I think that's the desire of every Nigerian, a leader that beyond the politics, beyond the money and the power, true love, not what you say, but true love for the people, which is exhibited in your actions. Why it should hurt you that people die because there's no oxygen, but we can fly out, the rich can fly out of the country at any time. It should hurt that we don't have decent schools. I'm a mom. I know how much I pay for school fees. It's astronomical. Why are we paying so much for education? And do they really care, considering that some have access to international schools and some don't? Basic education can actually be, I mean, there's a lot to consider as a woman, as a mother, as people who getting married. And we can't even go in to talk about the kids. If the kids could talk, I'm sure they would probably have a lot to say as well. Thank you, ladies, so much for having this conversation. And I do wish and I do pray that we end up electing a leader that does love Nigeria.
Amen.
At some point. At some point, hopefully this election, even if that doesn't happen, we keep trying. It's a democracy, we're growing. Thank you, Mariah. Thank you, Sarah. Thank you so much for me. So grateful for that. And for you, Dr. Trish, you're awesome. Any day, you're deep. And of course, Oluwatobi Anita, thank you so very much. You have been watching Mood of the Nation, and we're taking the women's opinion. You have heard deep things, a lot of deep conversations. Now, as a woman, what are those things that matter to you as you go to the polls? Are you going to vote? What are the things you expect your leader to do? And even if you're not a woman, what would you tell a woman to do as the polls draw closer? What are those things that she needs to consider as she decides who to vote for? You have been watching Mood of the Nation. My name is Gloria Oji Emodi, and this is Rootstv Nigeria.
Half article is better than thousands of Buhari.
Buhari is doing the best in Nigeria.